the culinary mystery has been very popular lately, and just, you know, including a lot of craft, including a lot of things like that into these works. You're going to see the books where the main character is a knitter. You're going to see the books where the main character is a baker. You're going to see, and I think it's really interesting that these hobbies are making their way into our popular fiction, because it's what, as readers, we spend our time doing when we're not reading. We might be, you know, in the kitchen making something up. There's a lot of coffee lovers out there. So is that why you wanted to incorporate the food so much in your work? Is because you knew that your readers were going to connect with it?
Oh, that starts far back in
the very first book.
Yeah, well, I was talking about Nora Ephron, Heartburn.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
Well, you go back to Dracula. There's actually a recipe in the beginning of Dracula, a recipe for chicken paprikash. That he goes through the whole, do this, do that, do this. Interrupts the story. This is not new.
No, as a young woman, I read Nora Ephron's Heartburn, which is a roman à clef about her actual marriage that broke up. And in the book, she created a character who is a cookbook author, and she would talk about food and she would give recipes in the book. But it helped to explore the character, and food as an analogy was very interesting to me, and I always thought about that. And so when the mystery started, the cozy mystery started to explore these areas and bring in, you know, hobbies, I thought that it would really work to do this as well.
And the coffee is a metaphor. I mean, really worked hard on that in the first book.
I knew other writers were doing food mysteries and putting recipes in, but my connection really with this kind of idea was with Nora Ephron originally in Heartburn, and I knew that if you take any character and explore what they're passionate about, whether it's knitting or food or horse racing, Dick Francis, you know, or and you explore that on the page and in different ways and expand the universe. Recipes, in a way, are kind of a way of, if you had a techno thriller, you might put the blueprints for something in the back of a book, or if you were writing a fantasy novel, you might have a genealogy.
The map of your fantasy world.
Right, or, you know, a cross-section of a fantasy, of a ship or a planet. The recipes, in a way, are an extension of the universe. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right, and you'll find, like in Holiday Grind, came a lot of Christmas recipes. That was a book before this one, and you know, we tried to be kind of international. There were other people's idea of Christmas. We brought in some food
because of New York.
Because in
New York, everyone has their own traditions.
I mean, it's unbelievable in New York. I mean, literally, in walking distance, we could eat at restaurants that other people in the United States. It's like, she called it Epcot Center.
It's Epcot Center, right? Really, where we live, and that's fantastic because it feeds into our ideas for the food and the exploration of culture through food.
So you have to tell me, if somebody wants to sit down, at least virtually, to have a cup of coffee with you, you do have a website that allows them to do that. Can you tell me the evolution of this site and what readers can find?
Right. Well, it began because we had a lot of information from our research into the coffee field and the culinary field.
Yeah, it couldn't fit in the books.
No, so we decided to make up a website and put the interviews there and our coffee finds and make it a kind of a little scrapbook website, and it just grew and grew, and we have a message board now, and we have coffee picks periodically, and I give away free coffee once a week in a drawing. All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter. But it's great. The readers come and they leave messages, and I get a lot of emails. But if you read about a coffee in our book and you're interested in it, if you go to coffeehouse.mystery.com, it's likely that you will see a link to a boutique roaster in the country that sells it, and you could probably buy it online. So that's something we wanted to do, especially for the little guys who are out there roasting coffee and doing a really good job of it, you know.
Well, I have to warn all of the readers out there, after reading Roast Mortem, you too will want to go down and visit your local coffee house. My coffee bill this month has been outrageous after reading your book. Thank you both so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
It's great.